You've maxed out your 401k, you're contributing to an IRA, and making some other investments. You're ahead of the game and doing well. But where do you go from here? The same old story can only get you so far. If you want a new take from a new type of financial professional, we invite you to get a fresh perspective beside an agent with the backing of New York Life. Insurance, investments, retirement, and more. Visit NYL.com to learn more. Investments are offered through registered representatives of NYLife Securities, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC, a New York Life company.
Hey, it's Haley Steinfeld. When everything requires your attention, it can be tough to figure out what to prioritize. But I'm here to talk to you about something that you should always put first, your breast health. In fact, if you're 40 and over, you should be getting screened once a year. And if you're under 40, it's never too soon to visit yourattentionplease.com to learn about your breast cancer risk. So go on, pay the girls some attention and take the time to find out your breast cancer risk at yourattentionplease.com. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
Support comes from ServiceNow. We're for people doing the creative work they actually want to do. That's why this ad was written and read by a real person and not AI. You know what people don't want to do? Boring, busy work. Now with AI agents built into the ServiceNow platform, you can automate millions of repetitive tasks in every corner of your business, IT, HR, and more, so your people can focus on the work that they want to do. That's putting AI agents to work for people. It's your turn. Visit servicenow.com.
I'm fine with the short king. I can appreciate them. They fit perfectly on screen.
Here we go. Welcome to a brand new episode of See You Next Tuesday. If you're new to our feed, this isn't the episode you really should be starting with. You should go to yesterday's episode, but am I wrong? Actually, if you want to listen to this episode, you should go to last week's episode.
Yeah.
Of But Am I Wrong? And then you can play along with us and get live updates. Bifocals, Megan, if you're watching on...
I was doing that just for you.
And yourself. If you're watching on Spotify, you can see us video version. We look good. We're in the same color family as you.
Is yours green or yellow?
It's brown, but it's like...
It's got like a woven with like... We look like a faded desert sunrise. Like, yeah. It's so, like, sandy.
Mm-hmm. Sandy is a great word for that.
Yeah. So
dusty.
Don't do that one, because that just makes my eyes water.
You're allergic to dust.
I am. And I can feel that I need to vacuum this room. Speaking of.
You should just put your filter in there.
Oh,
let it suck it all up.
I thought you were going to say Roomba, and I said, that is so kind of you to assume that there is floor space for the Roomba to maneuver.
I would never assume that.
Listen,
I'm talking
there
about...
There is stuff everywhere.
Yeah, it's basically what you need to do is clear everything out. And I say this as somebody that is in the midst of clearing everything out.
It's taken her years.
And just make it a walk-in closet with your desk in there.
No, that's what I want to do. But I need to figure out where to hang the clothes and
Well, that's why you make it a walk-in. You just get racks and put them in there. No, but like the heavy
there's so much
racks.
Wall space. I'm like, I need to hang some racks on a wall, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I do need to eventually figure this room out because it is useless. Mm-hmm. It is quite literally useless.
It's serving a purpose. Let's just make it more organized.
I didn't say there's no purpose of this room. I said this room is useless. It has a purpose. Is it doing anything besides that?
Literally the opposite. You can't say that something is useless and then say it has a purpose. It has a purpose. It is useful for storing things. It just needs to be stored in a organized fashion. And again, I say that as somebody that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closets that's all filled with junk.
Damn, that's a lot of closets.
I know. And they're deep closets.
No, they are. You can walk into all of them. I can actually
all the ones except for the one into this one. You've never been in this room. This is the workout room, so you haven't it's just a little.
Because I was going to say I could step into all of these closets.
Yes, you can, but yeah. So I'm in the process. I'm slowly but surely getting there. Has it taken me years? Yes.
Yes.
And will it take you years as well? Yes.
Of course.
Because you've been there, 2 years now?
I can't talk about that because when
I've been
I think
here
about
3
that,
years. So
we haven't even set up our bed frame.
Okay, that's a little extreme.
No, but we did have a bed frame, and then we wanted to sell it, and we got a new one, but we have to just like fix one thing on it because we got it vintage, and I haven't fixed it yet. And so we were like, oh, we'll just like swap it really quick, and we'll do it soon. And then we just like haven't done it.
Do you need some liquid nails?
Honestly, no. What we need is liquid / putty wood, and then we're gonna like even it out because one of the posts at the bottom. I'm not on the ground, but like
that goes across the.
No, like it's not functional.
Like
it's like aesthetic wise. There's the cap of it. It's not. It gets a decorative cap, and I was like, a corner got chewed off by a dog, and so I was like, we just need to like patch that.
I just want to say right now, you're doing your bifocals things, and it's definitely not for me.
Anyway, so this is what episode 134, and we're going to talk about who was wrong. First, we have Meghan goes on an insurance rant. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong. I would like to give a wee bit of an update for people. So I think I talked about how I also had my telehealth appointment, and I was like, didn't know that it wasn't going to be covered either. But I was like, assured that it would definitely be, obviously less than the $1,400 bill for the nasal endoscopy and the in-person appointment. And even some people were like, oh, my insurance, even if it's out of network, they cap telehealth appointments like $150, $200. And I was like, okay, tell me why. I get the bill. $500. It costs just as much to do an in-person appointment as it did for the telehealth appointment.
But I don't understand. There's so many just like telehealth companies that you can do an appointment with that you would have got the same results that are $30.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what do you mean?
I don't understand.
What do you fucking mean? And I saw this TikTok of this guy who his daughter had to had to use an ambulance. And when they initially got the bill, it didn't have their insurance on it. And it was like, I think it was like $500 or something. And they were like, oh, $500, great. Now let's just like, they don't have our insurance. And they did the insurance, and then it came back being like $1,500. And they were like, what? And they're like, well, California has a law that like, and it might not have been 500, but like, this is true that California has a law that if you're uninsured, there's a cap of what the cost they can bill you for an ambulance. And the guy was like, okay, but if I have insurance, it costs more to take the ambulance? Like, what do you mean? And they were like, well, that's just like, it's the law. And he was like, okay, so can you remove the insurance? And he goes, no, sure, because you have insurance. And he goes, but why do I have insurance if it's going to cost me more for an emergent? Like, that makes no fucking sense. And it doesn't make sense. And yeah, so I will also be fighting that bill. But that does mean that before I was like, I'll eat the cost for the next like telehealth appointment I have with my doctor to go over the results of the urine test. No, I will not. Now that I know, I will not be spending that money.
Well, you can always sell your piss and then make the money to pay for your appointment.
No, I want to sell my piss and make money to like get a cute Cowboy Carter outfit. Like, I don't want to sell my piss. Like, Maud's kept being like, I'll cover the cost, like, whatever you need. And I was like, oh, I don't know how I can stress this enough to you, babe. I am not paying this. Like, you can drag me to jail. I will not pay this. Like, I'm at the point where I'm getting so stubborn. I'm going to be like, you should give this to me for free. Like, I don't even want to pay anything. You can't even reduce it. I'm paying nothing. I refuse at this fucking point. It's on principle.
If you want to know what Megan's talking about, go listen or go follow her on TikTok about selling her piss, because
do you have an offer?
Here's the thing. Everything that we do is in supplement with everything else. So you got to be connected on all fronts to know what's going on. We don't have time to repeat ourselves.
The amount of people who are like, wait, I missed something. And I go, check the other. So I can't. There's too many. There is too many. Anyways, someone said, because I did include a gorgeous photo.
Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite one.
No, but it's a recent one. And
the one that's my favorite one is from the same shoot, the same photo shoot. No, he's like actually smiling, and I'm like, light up my life.
I like the one with the eyebrows too, where he goes, really? And I'm like, whoo, it got me all tingly, got those fanny flutters. And someone said, I just can't get over how beautiful he is. I'm shaking in my boots. This is crazy. And I agree wholeheartedly. I just love that we got, not only did we get an icon, a universal healthcare, fuck the billionaire icon, he's also fucking gorgeous.
Have you heard the rumors about him having a sex tape?
Yeah, and I really hope that's not true because I can't imagine being in a worse place. Like, I think in general, I before would have ranked, imagine your sex tape gets leaked while you're on a plane with no Wi-Fi. Imagine your sex...
Well, they're saying it's on OnlyFans, so therefore it's meant to be out there. But who knows?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
No.
I don't believe the rumor.
I don't believe the rumors because I'm going to tell you right now.
Just like the court system, innocent until proven guilty. There's no evidence of this tape.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just saying, if there was, I just know that I would have been sent it already expeditiously from.
I believe TikTok would have already had it up.
Totally. And then like you can like think about people in our own lives. I go, if this was true, they would have, this would have been I would have gotten a FaceTime immediately.
Yep.
Then we have someone who said, although I'm thankful in my adult life, the issues that I've had with insurance, when it comes to insurance, have been very minor. Obviously, you're not wrong. The more I realize insurance companies aren't really there to help you and are more of a way to pay more money and possibly avoid having to pay even more money if shit hits the fan is really stupid and I hate it. Yeah, it is just like there's zero logic to the system, which is why it feels so asinine and they can't explain it because there is no logic to the system. Someone else said, I've been through 3 insurances in the past 4 years because my employer keeps changing my carrier. I'm exhausted. Yeah. Meghan is so not wrong. I could rant about the American healthcare system forever, but my personal quote unquote favorite example of its failing. In 2020, my best friend got a preventative double mastectomy and reconstruction because she's at BRCA2 positive. She'd been going to all of her... Oh, BRCA. That's how you say it. BRCA2 positive. She'd been going to all of her pre-op appointments. All seemed good. 4 days before surgery, she was alerted to the fact that her plastic surgeon was out of network, and they were trying to say it was a cosmetic procedure, and that the closest in-network doctor was one who specialized in rhinoplasty. It took them literal years dealing with insurance to get it covered for a mastectomy. Also, in 2020, we were 23. That's fucking tough. Ugh. When Meghan began ranting about being stuck on hold, it transported me back to 2020 when this one time the call dropped twice and I was stuck on hold for 4 hours. The music on the hold waiting still haunts my nightmares. The one good thing that came out of being on hold waiting was my appreciation for metal screamo music. I've always been a pop girly, but dealing with insurance calls got me into metal. That is funny. I will say, I think everyone needs to adopt CVS's hold music because it is like when the beat drops. It's literally like, and like Mott's when I'm trying to get my meds filled, he goes, I could hear that song again. I'm like, okay, very sweet. Great.
Well, he can call and track down my inhaler prescription because the doctor sent it, but like they sent 2 and I wasn't ready for the second one yet.
Ugh.
And then I think it's gotten lost.
Yep.
So
they
he can
send
call
it back
and track mine.
Someone else said, Meghan, thank you. This is so obviously not news to anybody, but still needs to be discussed at length. I haven't been able to get a PAP in over 3 years because I can't find a provider that will take me without being pregnant. I just paid $4,000 out of pocket for dental work that needed to be done because my insurance made a change between when I had the initial dental consult and when I went in for my procedure. So I was only covered for annual cleanings by the time I had to pay. It's insane, and I stand with you. Luigi is my president. This is why so many Americans were, quote unquote, rooting for Luigi. I use quotes because murder is wrong, but we understood his motivations.
First of all, we don't know if he did.
I don't think he killed him.
We don't know
No.
what he did. There's really nothing. He was eating food when they picked him up.
So sorry, I didn't know it was a crime to live a McDonald's hash brown.
Right.
Lock me up, officer.
Is there video of him doing it? No.
Also, I have to say, I think we're profiling men with thick, gorgeous eyebrows. And I do think that's also a problem.
And so, yeah. And like, also,
I don't think murder's always wrong.
I don't. That's what I was about to say. Murder? What murder? There's
a show called How to Get Away with Murder. And you can't watch that show and tell me, I wish all those people were still living.
Also, like, it's part of our judicial system to kill people. Cops who are supposed to be the good guys get off with it all the time. So obviously they think it's wrong, and that's our law. Fuck them. Yep.
Someone said, my cancer meds aren't covered and I can't afford them out of pocket. Thank goodness for my pharmacist who literally wrote down instructions for me on how to get them through Kiwi Drug /GoodRx. I shouldn't have to go through loopholes to get meds that will help me with my pain. I'm so sorry you had to go through this nonsense, Meghan. Yeah, I will say that the I get really annoyed when people like talk shit on pharmacists, and like a lot of, and like, you know, despite the fact that I have to deal with like annoying pharmacists with like ADHD or whatever, pharmacists have been some of like the most amazing, helpful people in the healthcare system, like, and have been the ones who are like, I'm not going to let you pay this much money. Like, I've had pharmacists where I'm like, oh, did my insurance, like something lapsed or whatever, and it wasn't going to be covered for like my Adderall, and it's like $1,500. And I was like, well, I have to work, so like, I guess I'll pay it. And literally the guy was like, oh my God, no. And was like, I'm going to, like, I need to take a 15-minute break to his boss, and literally like lifted the counter up and like sat down with me with a binder and was like, we're going to figure this out. Yep. And like that to me, I'm like, I love that. And then they keep trying to make all this pharmacy stuff automated. I go, why are you trying to take away one of the few medical professions that is like patient facing, that is incredibly helpful, and also like, you're not trying to screw us over. Ugh.
I will say double check too, because I did have a pharmacist. She was like being nice and helpful. She's like, our code that I have here, you'll get more money off. And I was like, can you just check the one that I have? Just double check it. And the one I had actually was like $5 less.
Yeah.
So just double check things with them. And they're like, it was no problem. She's like, yeah, of course. So.
Yeah, I know that everyone talks about preferring like the small independent pharmacies. I hear you. Unfortunately, legally, they don't have to take coupons like at GoodR whatever. But like, in general, they don't have to take GoodRx coupons anywhere for controlled substances, but at big ones, they tend to be kinder about it. Someone else said, as someone who verifies insurance daily, it's all fucked. Doesn't matter what company, it's all a fucking scam. Someone else just sent in tips on this, but I think that's more just for me.
Yeah.
You want to hear something crazy? I got a thing in the mail that my insurance was like, hey, your doctor submitted to get you to get another CT scan to like of your sinuses. And we want to let you know that we did approve that. And I'm like, but you don't need, the doctor's out of network. And like,
so you just did work for nothing.
And also like, why are you saying that you're going to approve this? And at the bottom it says doctors out of network may have a higher cost. I'm like, so you don't. And then also, where was this for the nasal endoscopy? Like, huh?
Yeah.
So, fuck it all. Fuck it all.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
We are so excited to have a brand new sponsor, and I'm feeling very cool because Jesse and Lily are sponsored by OneSkin, and now we are.
Yay!
We are finally here. Skincare, we love skincare. We're all about it. And let's talk about peptides for a minute. If you're like me, you're seeing them everywhere. Peptide this, peptide that, peptide. It's almost a tongue twister. Just because something says peptide on it doesn't actually mean that it's really doing anything for you, but that is where OneSkin's OS1 peptide is different. Some peptides just sit on top of the skin, and OS1 goes deeper. It's scientifically formulated to penetrate the cells within skin's deeper layers, which improves key skin health markers like collagen production, hydration, and my personal uphill battle constantly, skin barrier function.
I think that's both of our uphill battles.
Truly.
I was so excited to get this as well because I just ran out of my other moisturizer, so it was perfect timing. Not only is OS1 proven to remain stable from the lab to the countertop, so you get reliable results every time. And guys, listen, if you're not getting results from your peptides, it might be time to take a closer look. All of OneSkin's topical supplements are backed by lab and clinical studies. And they're all powered by OS1 peptide, the first and only peptide that is scientifically proven to target senescent cells that contribute to lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Try OneSkin with an exclusive 15% off your first purchase using Blame Me at oneskin.co.
I love these products. I've been trying out the Essential Moisturizer and the Essential Eye Cream. And for me, eye cream is one of those things that, like, I love a little luxury eye cream. I love to, like, feel that, but specifically the older that I get, and also sometimes if my sleep is not that great, I really notice the lines under the eyes, and I always want my makeup to apply better. And what I love about this is it looks so nice if I put it on, no makeup on, but I also can apply makeup on it. It's not just for like that really rich overnight kind of a thing. It's really a daily thing that you can use, and it just looks and feels really good. And the moisturizer.
Oh, can I talk about that? Because sometimes my skin is very dry and scaly. Sometimes my skin is very oily. Sometimes my skin, I'm like, what even is this? But this face moisturizer is perfect. It goes on very smooth. It's not too thick, but you can feel the moisture in it. And then afterwards, after it's like really soaked in, you can just feel just how supple your skin is.
That's the perfect word, supple. And just like us, OneSkin loves science. So glad to hear. We love science in this house.
We do love science.
And OneSkin's entire R&D process is run in-house, strictly adhering to the rigor of scientific process from start to finish. Every claim is based on lab or clinical studies, and it's documented.
Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin and longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self.
Get 15% off with code BLAMEME at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. Hi, it's Megan.
And Melissa.
If you're like us and you're always searching for the next great book, then we have the perfect show recommendation. The Webby Award-winning podcast, Totally Booked with Zibby.
Formerly called Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books, Totally Booked delivers daily interviews with best-selling authors in just 30 minutes or so. Hosted by Zibby Owens, the powerhouse bookstore owner and best-selling author dubbed NYC's most powerful bookfluencer by Vulture. Needless to say, Zibby's redefining what it means to be a book lover. And with so few daily book podcasts out there, this one is a must listen.
Looking for somewhere to start? They just released an episode with stand-up comedian Chelsea Handler about her brand new book, I'll Have What She's Having. It'll definitely get you laughing. Not to mention, other recent guests include award-winning actor and model Brooke Shields on her new memoir and New York Times bestselling author Gabby Bernstein on self-help techniques she's personally found most useful.
So don't miss out. Follow Totally Booked with Zibby on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening now. All right, my turn?
Yeah.
Melissa says, not everyone needs to hop on a duet. And
you were preaching to the choir with this, Melissa.
The people have spoken. Also, we are blurring out faces.
Did you like that?
I did. R.I.P. to Carl.
Melissa, I almost sent it to you, but I was like, I don't want her to feel like it was the day it came out. And I said, yeah, I'm going to pretend that I didn't see that this day, and I was hoping you didn't see that this day.
I did, so but the episode was already out. Like by the time I saw it, it had been out for hours. So
that was also part of the reason why I blurred the face. I said,
"Yeah,
poor timing, poor
timing." Yeah. 5% said that I was wrong. 95% said I was not wrong. Someone said Karma featuring Ice Spice was never needed.
Why would someone bring that up?
I don't even know what that is. I 100% agree. Dolly and Sabrina should have done Slim Pickens. Wait, that's the one with Taylor. Got it. Never mind. I have heard it.
I forgot that like I have blocked it out of I fully forgot that existed.
Another person said, I about cried of joy when you said this. The first time I heard this song, it low-key made my ears hurt a little. As a lover of both redacted and redacted, that's me redacting it. I was really hoping for so much more when I saw this announcement, and the song choice was just as disappointing as my first and only listen of this duet. Oh, and I did want to bring up, so in the remix, forgot what the lyric was, where I was like, whatever it is.
Oh, she doesn't swear?
No, yeah, she doesn't swear, and they changed the lyrics in the radio version where it's just the main person singing. She says little sucker. That's why I was like, I don't think it's the same.
Wait, what was the other one?
When Sabrina does it, it's little sucker when it's just the radio version. And Oh, and then when the person that hopped on the remix did it, they said, don't embarrass me like the others. Yeah.
Okay, because I know that I think I just assumed because people had before the clean version came out, I think they were saying like the others on TikTok, and I think that I just assumed that, and that must have been the discourse, because I know people were saying that like, why didn't she change it? Like she could have done a better lyric swap for the clean version. So I think she did the one that everyone said she should have done for this one. That makes more sense. Okay.
Someone else said, I am glad someone finally said it. I love Redacted and Redacted, but that duet is 100% a skip for me every time I listen to the deluxe album. Their voices just don't work together, or maybe it's the song, but why does Redacted, the older one, sound so creepy? Who thought this was a good idea, and why is this charting?
Yeah. I have so many questions about things that chart in general.
Yeah. Another person said, okay, I listened and I didn't like it, and I thought it was just me. I'm a huge, the older one, lover, and I felt like this song didn't do her justice, and it made me really sad. I was listening to Melissa's take while running and thought to myself, I wasn't brave enough to say anything against it. And then she called me out directly like a minute later. You're right. I was scared.
And that's what you're here for, to be brave for the people.
Mm-hmm. Someone else said, honestly, I was stoked when I saw the duet, but Melissa was right. You spelled my name wrong. It was not great harmonies, and they really should have done Slim Pickens. I feel like she just wanted to blow up a different vid for Please, 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 now that Barry is in the back of the truck and trash. I wanted so much more from this.
That's a good point.
Slim Pickens still would have worked, though.
Well, also considering all of it is like tied together, like thematically, that I'm like, it could have been picked up exactly where that left off. Mm-hmm. Good point. Will this be a lesson to everybody? Ugly guys will still fuck you over.
Another person said, I'm sorry, I do not mind the reacted duet, sue me. Going back on what you just said before this, ugly people will screw you over. When Janet Jackson and Jermaine Dupri were together, married, everybody was like, why is she with that man? And he said that, and he cheated on her too. And he said he was never given any attention in his life until he was with Janet Jackson. And he made a mistake. And that was, the biggest regret of his life. Also, when she dumped him, nobody's throwing their panties at him either. Like,
no, I haven't even heard that name in so long.
He's still making music, but like he was only hot shit because people wanted him because he was Janet Jackson. It was proximity to her. And then no one wanted you when she divorced you.
Billie Eilish has a good quote that I swear to God, I think she was a teenager when she said it in like an interview, where she said, you give an ugly guy a chance, he thinks he rules the world. Mm-hmm. I was like, facts. Like, yep. And a lot of people think that like, oh, this guy, I am the biggest catch. This guy will then, he won't fuck me over. And I go, no, he views you as a step on his resume. So the next girl he can date is like, he thinks he absorbs your number. So right. You're an 8, he's a 4. He thinks by dating you, he's an 8 now, or at least a 7. I'm like, yeah, they don't understand. No, wait, there's no
they're
safe.
Stupid.
Deeply. Stupid and unoriginal. Did I tell you I had a stress dream about my pee?
Megan, we're done talking about the piss for now.
Well, you were looking for something, so I was just telling you.
Someone else said, I can barely tell the older one is even singing, and agreed Slim Pickens would have been much better. Someone else said, this was my first reaction to hearing it. I'm so glad someone else agrees, because I went to the comments of the video and thought I was completely alone. It could have been great, but it just wasn't. Someone else said, with all the pain in my heart, Melissa, you spelled my name wrong, is 100,000% correct. Another person said, I kind of didn't hate that collab, TBH.
I do have questions for those people.
Someone else said, Melissa's not wrong. I too was put off by the duet with Redacted. There are other duets or collabs I was not fond of this past year, but like Melissa said, I'm way too scared to actually admit it out loud. Props for bravery. Thank you so much. Someone else said, Melissa's not wrong because not all icons' voices go together, and Slim Pickens was right there and would have added to and been made better by the older one. Someone else said, I so love the idea of The older one being on Slim Pickens. I also could have loved to hear her on Couldn't Make It Any Harder. This is so many people.
No, Melissa, I was saying, like, quite literally, like, you spoke truth to the people, and they said, finally somebody's saying this. All right, like, you proselytized. Like, they felt touched by your sermon, and they needed to share their testimony. Like, as I was scrolling through this, I was like, oh, she's going to feel... I bet everyone said weight off their shoulders. I go, whew, finally we're talking about it. Thank you so much. Thank God.
Another person said, I think I voted wrong. Melissa isn't wrong. The pairing is iconic, but the song wasn't fully it.
Some people's voice, you can have like the most beautiful voice in the world, but like some people's voices just don't go together. Mm-hmm. Or the song. Mm-hmm. Some people's voices don't only work on certain kinds of songs.
Let's take Whitney Houston and Dolly Parton. If they would have done a duet for I Will Always Love You, both songs that they both slayed in their own genre, but together it would have sounded awful.
I can't even it's going to sound like they're singing two different songs.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
Yeah.
If you listen to both versions of the songs, they sound very different.
That would be wild.
Have you seen The Bodyguard?
No, of course not. You have to remember.
I know. That was one movie that I was allowed to see. I was not allowed to see, like, most films above a PG, barely a G. So like this was the one because my mom knew how much I love Whitney Houston. I couldn't see Waiting to Exhale, but I could see this because there was only one scene where she would tell me to close my eyes. And also when I got older, I was like, that was not even anything. But that movie fucking rules. And that would go down in one of your good, bad movies.
Oh my God. Okay. I'll put it on my list because like, I think about that. I can't wait to watch some of these movies that like, no way was I allowed to watch. I like can't wait to watch Glitter and be like, so what the fuck was I not allowed to see?
Glitter is only available on YouTube.
I literally can see the DVD like at our fucking video store in my mind. And I can see being like, what do you mean I can't watch this? This movie is called Glitter. Look at the poster.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to not want to watch this. Like I felt the same way about Kill Bill. Still never seen it.
Well,
but I said,
Kill Bill is
totally.
quite
But I go,
violent.
Why would you put a gorgeous girl
in
a cute outfit and then tell me as a child who all I care about and I love is fashion and like movies about girls, and I go, I can't watch it?
Yeah.
Kill Bill fuck?
Is great. Regardless of who wrote it and directed, it's a great movie.
Yeah, that foot fetish man.
Yeah, there are a lot of feet in there, but
I'm sure.
An incredible movie.
I have to say that I love that Margot Robbie learned from that. She goes, I need to put my feet in all my movies. Bitches love my feet.
Let's keep going.
Are you done with yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just hate feet so much.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
There are many ways to entice a potential new customer with flashy branding and calculated marketing strategies. But at the end of the day, the success of a business comes down to the ability to close the sale. And for businesses like Thrive Cosmetics, Allbirds, or Skims, it's what goes on behind the scenes, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple that makes the difference. For them and for millions of businesses, that difference is made with Shopify. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify. Because if your goal is growth, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And Shopify will make sure you're ready. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And with Shop Pay, they boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. It's no wonder Shopify is home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/realm.
Over the past several days, 3 females have been found dead.
Looks like someone's going after these girls.
Then they have to know to watch their backs.
Streaming March 13th.
You really want what happened to this woman to happen to you?
Exactly why I need to keep going on this.
Starring Emmy Award winner Amanda Seyfried.
I'm worried about what you're gonna find. So am I.
Long Bright River, a limited series. Streaming March 13th, only on Peacock.
This episode is brought to you by Global X. Since 2008, Global X ETFs has been committed to empowering investors with unexplored, intelligent solutions. Global X specializes in exchange-traded funds that offer exposure to the artificial intelligence ecosystem, including themes like data centers, robotics, semiconductors, and cloud computing. To learn more about Global X's entire suite of ETFs, from covered calls, fixed income, emerging markets, and more, visit globalxetfs.com.
Writer number one, are they wrong for scaring their boss? 30% said the writer is wrong. 70% said the writer is not wrong. And
writer number only.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the only one we have on this one. Someone said, this is hard and it's fair to hate a job, and I'm all for taking corporations to the cleaners, slay, but it's just the issue. It's just the mention of suicide that I have an issue with. One of my sisters has a few issues, let's say, and she would genuinely always allude to committing suicide whenever things didn't go her way. I'm not kidding. She was never actually suicidal. We made her go to therapy, but my parents did whatever she wanted because they were terrified she would hurt herself. That's why I struggle with this, with the way the writer went about it. Suicide just shouldn't be a joke or a bargaining chip.
Well, we don't know what actual mental state that the writer was in, and they may not have been using it as a bargaining chip.
Yeah, I think, like, I feel the same way about, like, people are like, oh my God, this person is, like, faking a mental health crisis. I go, that's a mental health crisis.
Right.
So, like, fake that. So, like, I do think in general, like, using suicide as a punchline in, like, a comedy bit, as, like, a hee ha ha, sure, not great. But most of the time, most of the people who are comfortable making jokes about suicide, it's because, like, when you've experienced, like, those kinds of feelings, like, it's kind of like you have to laugh or you'll cry. Like, you have to make this and demystify this in a way for your own personal life that I think, in general, people who make quote unquote jokes about that at this day and age, who are adults, those people they don't have zero experience with it from a personal level.
Right. And then this person too, once they said that and then learned that they had therapy at their work for free, it was a relief to them. So, like, I don't buy the whole, like, people do this just because they need attention. Yeah, some people do need attention. Yeah. Because, like, the attention is what they need to help them get through and get what they need to be helped.
Yeah, I knew a girl who threatened this a lot when she was going through an ending of a relationship when we were growing up. And it was very manipulative, and at the time it was like, she's not actually going to do this. This is like a manipulative tool. She was not mentally well. Like, she was not, people who are, like, doing well. And even this person said, like, your sister had issues. I'm like, yeah. So, like, this is not something that, like, people who are completely crystal clear mental health wise are commenting on. And, you know, I think a lot of people have different sensitivity levels of, like, what they feel comfortable making jokes and comments about it. But unless that person has, like, zero experience with mental health, or anyone who's, like, had mental health, like, on their own, I think a lot of people who have experienced it by proxy feel very uncomfortable with it versus people who've, like, dealt with suicidal ideation, where they're like, I have to make a joke about it because, and I also have to be able to, like, feel comfortable just, like, saying it because, like, sometimes it is really casual. Like, sometimes it is, like, you know, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, it has to be demystified in that kind of a way. So I'm not, in general, I think, like, we shouldn't assume that someone is being insensitive as opposed to someone is making light of something that they're actually experiencing and, like, making it a little less heavy and more palatable for the people around.
Yep.
Someone else said, in this economy, you have to use your resources. If your boss feeling bad enough for you not to fire you is a way that you can keep the job until you find one that you want, then that's the universe being on your side. Collect your check, bestie, and use it to your advantage as long as you can. I think that's great advice. I voted the writer is wrong, but also understand that they're genuinely at that breaking point, and it probably wasn't a conscious, malicious decision to joke/threaten suicide. Hikey seems like a cry for help, more so, and you don't always choose the audience for that. Sometimes it just slips out. That's wholeheartedly exactly what I agree with.
That's it. Yep.
That's, like, that is perfectly said. Because it's definitely, like, one of those, should have filtered that a little bit more. Might be. Someone said, I'm not a fan of the way it was said, so that's why I voted that they were wrong. I do understand where they were coming from, and I'm glad that their boss reacted like that. Not wrong for how they feel, LOL, but the delivery could have been better, especially if they didn't know for sure what the meeting was about. Writers wrong to think that their boss was going to fire them, but so not wrong for scaring the boss into definitely not firing them by saying that. They're so right for what they said, honestly. Whether or not they were going to get fired, the job force these days is way too ready to fire anyone for anything. This is needless stress to the employee, and this is so unfair. So telling the boss how you really feel isn't only good for the writer, but anyone else if they feel like letting go for anyone else they feel like they should let go for quote unquote low productivity or whatever. Employers constantly forget that numbers they fire are people who have to pay their rent too. And if they're firing it to make a spreadsheet look good, then they probably need to rehire in the future to make it look good again, creating a jobless limbo that is so unfair. We need to normalize real answers at the job. That's deep. Love that. It's a very deeply human way to respond to something that is like not not compassionate.
I'm Dr. Jen Ashton, your host for Season 2 of The Visibility Gap, a podcast presented by Cigna Healthcare. Throughout this season, we'll be tackling something vital, the women's health gap. We'll hear from real people and experts as we unpack important topics like maternal health, menopause, and heart disease. Listen in and download the new season wherever you get your podcasts.
Can you feel it in the air? That sudden shift of mood? It's the perfect time to shed the winter blues and experience the revitalizing qualities of driving a Lincoln. It starts with the Lincoln Spring Sales Event. So step outside and visit your local Lincoln retailer or Lincoln.com for some seriously mood-enhancing offers on current and past Lincoln models. Your transformation awaits. Learn more at Lincoln.com.
Canva presents a work love story like no other. Meet Productivity. She's all business.
The Canva doc is done.
Creativity is more of a free thinker.
Whiteboard brainstorm.
They're worlds apart, but sometimes opposites attract. Thanks to Canva.
The data is in the deck.
And now it's an animated graph.
Canva, where productivity meets creativity. Now showing on computer screens everywhere. Love your work at canva.com.
Writer is kind of wrong, but at the same time, I hope they take the advice and milk the situation. Writer is not wrong and should try to get all the benefits from the job as you can before they leave. Suck the job dry the same way it's sucking you dry. Suck it off. So this is the original writer writing in to answer some stuff. So at my job, my manager would fire people by saying, "Can I pull you aside?" and has a folder. I've seen 2 people get fired with the folder in his hand, and when he was about to talk to me, I saw the folder, and that's when I quoted Katya from And they usually don't tell me to cover someone's shift, as that's not a thing at my job. It's work 2 hours, 7-minute break, work another 2 hours, 17-minute lunch, and another 2 hours, then a 7-minute break, and another last 2 hours. And it was also his body language when he was about to give me the folder. Also, even though my manager offered therapy, I never felt valued at this job. I would report transphobia, but then get blamed for it, as well as reported racism towards me, getting written up for being racist towards white people when they've said worse and make jokes to me. When they've said worse to me, like making ice jokes. I have thought about taking advantage of capitalism part, like seeing if they can help with college, which I've just thought about going back to. But I just want to do something I'll enjoy and to work at a queer-friendly place. Also love that Megan saying, read you, wrote you. Also, the episode I used from Katya is from an episode of Getting Fired. Yep. I think this is a deeply relatable thing. And I also think there's no real ethics in the workplace at this point.
Yeah.
So stay where you can as long as you can. But I'm also, as someone who everyone told me to like stake out college and like make it work. There's a certain point where you're like, I cannot. And I've said before, like literally at the time, I was like, I won't survive. Like I literally won't survive. And I'm like, read into that what you will. You want to get dark? That's the meaning of it. But I'm being delicate. I was like, I have to drop out. And people are like, you got this. I'm like, quite literally.
Leave me alone.
I don't.
I'm
and
gone.
So making a decision that's like hard and that people look down upon or feels like running away or whatever, like that's when you have 0 other options left. So like, I'm also a big fan of quitting when you need to quit. Then we have my wrong of the week. This has quite unfortunately been the theme of Piss Week. We have Kelly Tedford, the grocery store pisser. 98% said Kelly is wrong. 2% said Kelly is not wrong. I will say I did deeply judge Kelly. And then within a 7-day span, I said, maybe I should start selling my piss on TikTok.
Also found out she works at the grocery store.
Yes.
So she knew where to go, how to do it without being caught. She probably did some before hours, after hours. So.
And I just can't imagine bringing your piss play. Like, I'm fine if you have 2 jobs. Don't do your kink job at your other job. It's the same thing I feel with like nurses who do like OnlyFans. I'm like, fine. Don't be scrubbed in and like be doing your sexy shit while you're at your other job.
The teachers that were doing it in their classroom.
I don't care. Like, I think everyone should be paid more. Whatever hustle you need to do, I don't think it makes you a better or worse person for doing sex work on top of another job. I don't think there's any job that it's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing sex work on top of that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I do give a shit when you are at one of your jobs and suddenly bodily fluids are being introduced, and I did not sign up for bodily fluids to be at this place that I'm going to.
Yeah.
The way I need more details about this, like why on earth was she doing that? Did she get paid? And what were the logistics? I was also, and also simultaneously already know way more than I wanted to. Thanks, Megan. You're welcome. That is what I'm here for. My question is, does she go the route of squatting in a corner? Is she decent enough to clean up after herself, or is the aftermath just as disgusting as the battle? Ew, good point. And also, if she's at work, I assume she's
clean up on all 3.
That's why I don't trust those big, like, industrial mop things at the grocery store. I go, you are just spreading around all of the yuck.
Well, if it's a wet thing, they're usually bringing out the cat litter to soak it up. So
if it's on carpet, not if it's on.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
Did that all the time when I was in school too. Somebody threw up in the hallway.
Oh, I'm thinking of piss. You think they do cat litter for piss?
Yeah, anything wet. Because it soaks everything up before you.
Yeah, no, that's smart. It's a good point. Good point.
So at least it's neutralizing it.
Ew. Someone just said disgusting. I don't know why, but by the way, I'm also just picturing it being an apple. Like, it's in my mind, it is produce. We're not getting a lean cuisine.
I was thinking like a bag of rice, because that also works.
An open bag of rice?
Yeah, because they're also soaking things up.
Oh my God, she's just cooking. She pisses in the rice cooker and they said, use any liquid. How about urine? Someone else just said, ew. They're without a doubt wrong and inconsiderate for putting that shit back on shelves. I really hope she's at least getting paid for this. Well, now we know she's getting paid from her corporate job. I mean, not her corporate, but her regular job on top of it. Her day job. Crazy.
But her day job gave her access to her passion.
Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. No amount of money would compel me to do this. P.S.
Jamie.
Still looking for a sugar daddy? LOL. I'm assuming that's what SD means.
All right. Then my wrong of the week was Amanda Hergenditter or Chris Hamilton. 97% said Amanda was wrong. 3% said Chris was wrong. Someone said, if she was coming from a genuine non-savior place, she should have waited, as you say, or she could have left her card with a note that said she could provide free vet services. There are also nonprofits to link people with, like mobile clinics with intake coordinators, basic needs, and even vet care. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another person said, if she saw the dog was in distress, she should have either waited to see if someone showed up to claim the dog, maybe also reaching out to animal control. Another person said, as much as I understand the compassion of seeing an animal in need and wanting to help them, I also understand the bond between a person and their animal and how that would never be broken, especially if it wasn't your choice. No matter what reason, he wasn't able to get the dog care that he needed. It's unfair to take someone's animal and act like you're high and mighty to do so. I'm glad the dog got the care that it needed, but I can't say that her method doesn't leave me with an icky taste in my mouth.
Also, like, it's not like she's paying out of pocket for people who come to the vet who don't have insurance.
Right.
It's like, you think that you're going to be able to keep the dog after this.
Someone else said, if you were helping, not stealing, you would stick around to talk to the owner. You would also return the dog. Another person said, I was physically enraged listening to this and walking to class. There was a right way to help the dog and the man if she wanted to, but this woman was so wrong. Another person said, I think my voting got messed up because Amanda is wrong. When listening, I first thought she was helping the dog and bringing it back, but as the story went on, clearly not. It would be one thing to help the dog if she saw it was struggling, not sure how she could see that without examining it first, though, and wanted to help the owner as a favor, but then to actually turn it around against him is horrible. As someone from Michigan, that area honestly does have a lot of white women with savior complex.
Give a white woman a dog in the vicinity, and it's just... That white woman animal lover complex is insane.
Yep. And someone else said, it's the same energy as people who only care about the well-being of animals over human beings. If she truly was a concerned neighbor / good Samaritan, she would ask Chris first about the dog and offer to help check in with the dog medically once in a while. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's very let me buy your baby.
All right. That's it. That's the end of our episode.
We hope you all enjoyed.
So tune in. What's going on with your wrist?
Why do my knuckles look so white?
Because you're gripping that so hard?
No, I'm not.
Well, we know you have circulation problems.
Yeah, that sounds
and
like
it's
let me
cold.
warm those up.
It's cold.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a little break here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back on Thursday with Don't Blame Me, Friday for Fisting Friday, Monday for But Am I Wrong, and then back here on Tuesday for See You Next Tuesday. Also, don't forget to buy our merch.
Oh, yeah.
We're coming up on the last days. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
We will see
you.
We will see you next Tuesday.
That was a struggle.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast, and with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.